The game is no longer just about control. It's about survival. And neither of them knows who will come out on top. The escalating tension is palpable. Every word, every glance, now feels like a ticking time bomb. The battle lines have been drawn, but neither of them knows where this will end. All they know is that nothing will ever be the same again. The penthouse feels even colder now, the luxurious space transforming into a suffocating arena where every inch of air is thick with tension. The city lights outside are still twinkling, oblivious to the storm raging within the walls. Inside, it feels as though the world has narrowed to just two people, one struggling desperately to maintain control, the other standing on the precipice of a revelation that will change everything. For the millionaire, this is the moment. He can feel it deep in his bones. The overwhelming sense of loss that has been building inside him for weeks is now threatening to break free. The carefully constructed walls he's built around his emotions, his power, his identity, are crumbling. He's always been the one in control, the one who pulled the strings. He was the one who dictated their lives, their marriage, their fate. But now, as he stands before his wife, this woman who's become a stranger to him, he feels the walls closing in. He's never felt this vulnerable. His mind is clouded, his pulse quickening. He can't breathe, the fear of what's to come starting to overwhelm him. There's something she's been holding back, something he can't understand. And he can feel it now, the weight of it pressing on his chest. "Why did you agree to this?" he asks, his voice cracking slightly. It's the first time he's ever questioned her. The words are out before he can stop them, and for a moment, there's a hesitation in her eyes, an almost imperceptible pause. She's standing by the window again, her gaze fixed on the lights outside, but her posture is different now. She no longer seems as distant, as cold. There's something more, something sharp and purposeful. "You think you know why?" she asks, her tone laced with a bitter edge. She turns to face him now, her eyes meeting his with an intensity that makes him take a step back. He's taken aback by the fire in her eyes. "I don't understand," he admits, his voice barely above a whisper. For the first time, she steps closer to him, a deliberate movement that feels like the closing of a door behind him. "You think this is about the affair, don't you?" she says, her voice low but steady. "You think this is about you controlling me, humiliating me. But it's not." His breath catches. "What are you talking about?" The tension in the room is palpable. His heart pounds in his chest as he waits for her to continue. The seconds stretch on, unbearable. And then it comes, the bombshell. "You think I'm just some woman you can play with, don't you?" she asks, her voice now dripping with disdain. "A woman from a bet, a pawn in your twisted little game. But you've underestimated me." He opens his mouth to speak, but no words come out. His mind races, struggling to process what she's saying. He thought he knew everything about her, about their marriage, about their lives together. But now, in this moment, he feels the ground beneath him shifting. Her gaze hardens. "My father lost everything because of you." The words hang in the air, heavy and laden with a truth he never saw coming. His stomach drops. He can feel his pulse thudding in his ears as the weight of her words sinks in, his world tilting on its axis. "My father was a business partner of yours," she continues, her voice gaining strength with every word. "He trusted you, and you destroyed him." The millionaire stares at her, his mind struggling to comprehend the full magnitude of what she's just revealed. Her father was part of his past, a man he betrayed, a man who lost everything because of a business deal gone wrong, a deal he'd manipulated to further his own interests, without a second thought for the lives he was crushing beneath him. His vision blurs. The guilt comes crashing in like a tidal wave, and for the first time in years, he feels small. He feels powerless. "I was just a little girl then," she continues, her voice trembling now, but not from fear. "But I saw everything. I saw how you destroyed my family. I watched as my father lost everything. And when you came to me with your game, your twisted little plan to control me, I knew exactly what I was walking into." His knees weaken. The ground beneath him seems to shift, and he has to steady himself against the wall. The anger he once held towards her, the frustration, the resentment, is now replaced by a sickening, suffocating guilt. He's the villain, not her. "You think I'm playing a game, don't you?" she says, her voice now cold and sharp, the words like knives. "You think I'm just trying to make you feel small, to punish you. But I'm not. I'm surviving. I'm getting back everything you stole from me. Everything you took from my family. He's reeling. Every word she speaks cuts deeper, exposing a part of him he's spent his life burying. He's always seen himself as the one in control, the one who made the rules. But now, everything has flipped. The truth is clear. The puppet master is the one who's been played. His breath comes in shallow gasps as the guilt pours over him like ice water. He can barely meet her eyes now, and when he finally speaks, his voice is barely audible. I didn't know. You didn't care, she interrupts, her voice rising now. You never cared. You thought you could ruin my family, destroy everything they built, and that I would just smile and accept it. You thought I was just some trophy wife, a pretty little ornament on your arm, didn't you? Well, look at me now. I'm not that woman anymore. Everything between them shifts in an instant. The bond they once had, whatever fragile connection they had, is shattered beyond repair. The foundation they built their relationship on is gone. She's no longer a victim. She's the one holding all the power now. He stands frozen, unable to move, his mind racing, his heart pounding. He wants to say something, anything, to fix this, to take back the damage he's done. But the words are caught in his throat. The truth has been unveiled, and there's no turning back. The woman who once relied on him, the woman he thought he controlled, is now the one pulling the strings. I'm not your puppet anymore, she says quietly, her voice steady now, almost serene. And I never will be. For a long moment, neither of them speaks. The silence stretches on, thick and suffocating. The tension in the room is unbearable, the weight of everything they've said and done hanging in the air like a fog. Finally, he stumbles back, his face pale, the reality of the situation crashing down on him. You planned this. His voice is barely a whisper, filled with disbelief. My eyes are unwavering, steady. I didn't plan it, no. But I've been waiting for this moment. For you to finally see who I really am. His knees buckle, and he sinks down onto the nearest chair, his head in his hands. The guilt is overwhelming, suffocating. He feels the weight of her betrayal, but it's not hers. It's his own. She walks past him now, her movements deliberate, controlled. You don't get to control me anymore. I'm done. Her words are final, and when she leaves the room, they hang in the air, leaving him to face the consequences of his own actions. The fallout is complete. Everything he thought he knew, everything he built, has crumbled. The game is over, and in this moment, he's no longer the one in control. He never was. The mansion feels colder now. The once warm, opulent interior of the penthouse has turned into a mausoleum of lost control. The golden furnishings, the velvet curtains, the sleek marble floors, all of it stands in stark contrast to the emptiness that now fills the space. The silence is deafening, punctuated only by the hollow sound of his footsteps as the millionaire walks through the rooms he once owned with such confidence. Every step he takes feels like an echo of his past, each one reverberating with the weight of the mistakes he's made. He is haunted by the truth. It's relentless. The guilt gnaws at him, a constant presence in the back of his mind. Every time he passes by her in the hallway or sees her sitting calmly in the living room, her eyes never meeting his, it feels like a reminder of everything he's done. He thought he could control her, control everything. But now, he can't even control himself. The empire he built, the wealth, the influence, all of it seems so insignificant now. It was supposed to shield him, but in the end, it only isolated him. He thought money and power were the ultimate tools for control, but now he realizes that they are nothing but brittle, empty shells. He feels it most when he stands at the edge of his empire. His office, once a place of power and unyielding decisions, now feels like a hollow space, a room full of paper and files that have no meaning. The phone calls he makes to business partners now ring hollow. His decisions are undermined at every turn. It's as though his world is conspiring to strip him of everything he once controlled. His empire is crumbling. He watches the stock prices of his companies dip lower, his investments slip into the red, the weight of his crumbling business reflecting the collapse of his personal life. No matter how hard he tries to keep up appearances, to regain some semblance of control, everything slips through his fingers like sand. But it's not just his business unraveling. His personal life is a constant reminder of his failures. When he comes home, he faces her, This woman who is no longer his. She's not the meek, docile wife he once commanded. She's a force unto herself now, a woman he can no longer understand, a woman who refuses to be controlled. He watches her every day, and in her silence, he feels the weight of his own inadequacy. Her detachment is unbearable. He wants to reach out to her, to apologize, to beg her for forgiveness, but he knows it's too late. He has no power over her anymore. He realizes now that it was never about the affair, never about her sleeping with another man. It was about him trying to control everything, including her emotions, her decisions, her very life. And now, in the wake of his own mistakes, he is faced with the cold reality that has lost it all. Meanwhile, she is no longer the woman he married. She's someone else entirely. The shift in power is palpable. It's as if the universe has flipped the script on them, and she's now the one holding all the cards. She moves through the house with a quiet authority, no longer seeking his approval, no longer playing by his rules. She takes control, slowly but methodically dismantling everything he once held dear. At first, it's subtle, an offhand remark, a suggestion that she's taking a different path with her life. But gradually, it becomes clear that she's no longer invested in their marriage, no longer willing to pretend to be the woman he wants her to be. She's free now, and she's reveling in it. The man watches helplessly as the control he thought he had slips away from him. She's not playing by his game anymore. She's writing her own rules, and every move she makes chips away at the foundation of their relationship. She begins to distance herself emotionally, no longer willing to engage in the manipulative power games he used to play. She spends more time with friends, places more importance on her own happiness and well-being than on maintaining the facade of a perfect marriage. Every time he tries to reignite the connection they once had, every time he seeks to control the narrative, she shuts him down, and he can feel the desperation clawing at him. He tries to apologize. He tries to explain himself, to justify his actions, but it's useless. The words fall flat in the air. She doesn't need his apologies, doesn't need his promises. She's done. And she doesn't care about the man who built this empire. She's done playing the role of his obedient wife. She's playing for herself now. He tries everything. In private, he drops his guard, begging her for a second chance. He promises to change, to become the man she always wanted. He even suggests they go to therapy, that they rebuild their lives together, brick by brick. But nothing gets through to her. She doesn't flinch when he offers his apologies. Her gaze remains cold, unreadable. She doesn't need him anymore. She's finally found her strength, her independence, and nothing he can say or do will bring her back to him. One evening, he finally catches her by the door as she's leaving for yet another evening out. He steps in front of her, blocking her path. "Please," he says, his voice breaking, "I'm begging you. I don't know what I've become. I've made mistakes, but I can change. We can fix this, together." She looks at him, her eyes filled with something he's never seen before, something stronger than anger, something colder. "You don't get it, do you?" she says quietly. "You think this is about you. You think I'm still your wife, waiting for you to decide what I should do with my life. But I'm not. I'm not yours anymore." Her words land like a punch to his gut. "I've already moved on," she continues, her voice steady. "From you, from this life, from everything you tried to control, and I won't be dragged back into your world. I've learned to live without you, without your manipulation, without your power games, and I'm not coming back." She steps around him, her movements graceful and final, leaving him standing there in the doorway, paralyzed by the truth. For the first time, he sees her for who she really is, not his pawn, not his wife, but a woman who has found herself, who has found strength in her own independence. The desperation rises in him again. He tries to call her back, to reach out for some semblance of the connection they once shared, but it's futile. She's gone, and with her, the last vestiges of his control slip away. The mansion feels even emptier now. Every corner of the house, every room he once filled with his decisions, his power, feels like a reminder of his failure. It's as if he's lost everything, and he's not sure how to pick up the pieces. His empire is crumbling, his business unraveling, and his personal life is in ruins. And as he stands there, alone, he realizes that he's powerless to stop any of it. The woman he once controlled, the wife he once manipulated, is now the one in charge. She has all the power. And he's left to face the consequences of his actions, realizing too late that he was never the one pulling the strings. The mansion is almost unrecognizable to him now. The golden chandeliers that once reflected his every victory now seem to mock him, casting long shadows over the cold, empty spaces. He stands at the center of the grand living room, his face drawn with exhaustion, his mind reeling from the series of choices that led him to this moment. This is it, the moment that decides everything. The man, broken and desperate, knows that he can't escape his past, that the weight of his mistakes has finally caught up to him. Every decision, every power play he made, every manipulation he orchestrated has led to this final confrontation. He's lost everything, his empire, his wealth, his wife. He stands here now, completely exposed, vulnerable in a way he's never been before. There's no mask left to wear, no armor to protect him from the consequences of his actions. The cold, sterile walls of the penthouse seem to press in on him, mocking the illusion of control he once believed in. She's here now, standing before him. She's not the woman he once controlled with ease. No, she's something different. She's strong, unyielding, her presence a stark contrast to the woman he once knew. She has shed the skin of the obedient wife and has embraced something entirely new, something powerful, something free. He's tried everything, pleading, bargaining, even trying to apologize, but nothing has worked. His desperation has reached its peak, and he knows it's over. There's no going back. The woman who once trusted him, who once adored him, has become a stranger, someone who no longer sees him as the man who can provide for her, but as a shadow of the man he once was. She stands across the room, calm and collected, her eyes unwavering, not even a flicker of emotion betraying her. The space between them feels like an ocean. It is a gulf created not just by physical distance but by everything that has transpired between them. He swallows hard, trying to steady his breathing, but his voice falters as he speaks. "You've taken everything from me," he says, his words dripping with a mix of anger and helplessness. "My empire, my life, my marriage, do you even care about any of that? What happened to the woman I married? The woman who needed me, who wanted me?" His words are more than just accusations. They are a cry for understanding, a last-ditch effort to make sense of everything that's fallen apart. He's broken, unraveling before her, and deep down, he knows she's the only one who can help him make sense of the mess he's created. But it's too late. He's gone too far, and she has already moved on. She doesn't flinch, doesn't even react. Instead, her voice is soft, almost pitying. "You're not the man I married," she says, her words cutting through the air like a knife. "You've never really seen me, have you? All these years, all this control, you never understood who I really am. You were too busy trying to bend me to your will, to make me into the woman you wanted. But you never saw me. Not really. You were too busy with your power to notice that I had a life of my own." The truth of her words hits him like a punch to the gut. His chest tightens as he realizes the magnitude of what he's lost, what he's never had. He never truly saw her. He thought he controlled her. But in reality, she was the one who had been playing the game all along. She was the one who had learned to survive, to adapt, to grow stronger in spite of his manipulation. The silence between them grows heavy. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words escape him. What could he possibly say now? What is left to salvage? "I tried to fix things," he says finally, his voice barely above a whisper. "I tried to make it right. I'm sorry. Please, just give me one more chance. I'll change. I'll do anything." But she doesn't respond immediately. She just stands there, watching him with a look that seems to pierce straight through him. And in that moment, he knows it's over. There's no turning back from what they've become. She's already moved on. She's already released herself from the shackles of his control. The desperation in his voice intensifies. "Please, I beg you, don't leave me. I don't know who I am without you. Without this life. You're everything to me. I can't live without you. I can't." His voice breaks, a raw edge of emotion creeping in. But she cuts him off, her voice cold and final. "You don't get it, do you?" His heart lurches at the finality in her tone, and he takes a step forward, his feet heavy with the weight of his regret. "What are you saying?" he asks, his voice trembling. "I'm saying I'm done," she replies simply. "You've destroyed me. And now I'm done. I've given you everything, and in return, you've taken away everything that mattered to me. I gave up myself for you, for this marriage, and in the end, it was never enough. But you know what? I don't need you anymore. I don't need anyone. I'm finally free." Her words hit him with a force he can't comprehend. The realization that she has finally broken free from him, from his manipulation, from the chains he so carefully constructed, is almost too much to bear. He stands frozen, his mind racing, trying to process the finality of it all. There's no more bargaining, no more promises. She's already gone. She takes a step toward him, her eyes hardening with determination. "You've spent your life building an empire, but you never built anything worth keeping. You destroyed everything that mattered to you, me, your family, your business. You were too consumed with control, with power, to ever see what was really important. And now, it's too late. Everything is gone. Your empire is a house of cards, and it's collapsing." The words settle like a weight on his chest, and he can feel the walls of his world closing in around him. His empire, his wealth, his business, they are nothing now. Empty constructs that mean nothing in the face of what is lost, and the woman before him, once his possession, once his control, has become the one thing he can never have again. "Free. I should have seen it sooner," he says, his voice hollow. "I should have understood what I was doing. I thought I could control you, keep you under my thumb. But I see now. I see what you've become. You've destroyed me. You've taken everything." She doesn't respond. She simply turns her back to him, walking toward the door, her footsteps echoing through the empty mansion. And for the first time, the man is alone. Alone with the weight of his choices, alone with the knowledge that he has destroyed everything he ever loved. There's no going back now. He's a broken man, forced to live with the consequences of his greed, arrogance, and the belief that he could control everything. As the door closes behind her, he collapses to his knees in the center of the room. He's no longer the man he once was, the man who thought he could control everything, who believed that power was the answer to all things, is gone. In his place is a broken man, someone who now understands the true cost of his actions, and for the first time, he feels the crushing weight of that realization. What started as a game ended in devastation. A man believed he could manipulate the world around him, his wife, his empire, his life. Power, control, and manipulation became his tools of dominance as he pushed his wife into an affair, all in the name of securing his own sense of superiority. But in the end, none of those things mattered. None of it could shield him from the consequences of his actions. His empire, once a symbol of his strength, now lies in ruins. The woman he tried to control has become the one holding all the cards. His own guilt, desperation, and regret have consumed him, leaving him a shell of the man he once was. And in that final confrontation, when the truth was laid bare, he realized too late that the very things he thought he controlled, his marriage, his wealth, were never his to command. This story is a stark reminder of the dangers of arrogance, of mistaking power for love, and of the devastating consequences that can arise from the pursuit of control over others. What began as an attempt to manipulate his wife's life has ended in a profound shift in their relationship and in his entire existence. The question now is, will he ever recover from the wreckage of his own making, or is this the final chapter of his story? What do you think? Can someone like him change, or is he doomed to live with his guilt forever? Could he ever regain his empire, or has the damage done to his heart and soul already been too great to heal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story and want to see more deep, compelling narratives like this one, don't forget to hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.